Hi guys, it's Che, the TGN Reviews Editor, alongside Aaron once again for the 8th episode of TGN Weekly. Say hi, Aaron.
Hi guys. Lately, me and Che have had the unfortunate job of reviewing some of the worst licensed video games this year. We thought it would be a great idea to have a discussion on licensed video games as a whole.
Okay, so let's just get right into it, I suppose. Before we start, I'm just going to say that we will be talking about movie licensed video games and TV licensed video games in this video. So comic books and all that other stuff aren't really a factor here. So first of all, let's just cover the licensed video games as a whole in the industry. So licensed video games are usually either really bad or, kind of average. There's only been rare movie license games that have even been good or great or spectacular. So it's kind of an industry where the percentage is highest in the bad section. So you kind of expect it to be bad. But there are some gems. So I know that you have a problem with the fact that they're all full priced.
I don't know why they're full price. It shouldn't be worth as much as they are. I mean, I don't know why, but the problem with licensed video games is that they tend to be mediocre at best. I don't think there's very many of them that are actually
Yeah.
good. But I mean, I'm going to go for a bit of a rant for just a sec because I have a problem with this. There are two ways to sell a video game: the quality of the game and the story and the plot and good things like that, and then there's the reputation of the name,
which
which
is what most licensed video games work
yeah,
off to get
exactly.
sales.
Uh,
And let's be honest here, when they're released, even though they have the name attached, usually they're either low in quality in terms of graphics or they're just not there's not enough content to support the full price, which is why most people stay away from them. But sometimes, and a lot of the time actually, it depending on the name, if the name is big enough, it will sell even though it's a crappy game.
It's just like they buy a name of something that everybody already knows. I mean, it's I can see how if I was in that industry that I would do this sort of technique, this business sort of thing, because it's a much easier way to make money of something that is mediocre based on licenses.
Yeah, it's a cash in. It's called, right? So
Yeah.
a cash in. They're usually cash ins on familiar names. So usually, though, I find that most individuals, especially people who play games, even like casually, most of them know to stay away from movie license games unless there's like news that it's actually good, because generally they are bad. Like names can go far in terms of sales on for children, and I reckon most of the sales that come from Call of Duty each year, even though like my opinions on it they're not really worth talking about right now, but Call of Duties Call of Duties are mainly bought by parents or grandparents or anyone from the family, because they look at the games, they know what people are buying, and they think just because people are buying it and the name, it's good, which I guarantee is where most movie license games and TV license games get their sales. The development time is a big factor here as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Walking Dead Survival Instinct, the game that I had to review previously, which I gave it, I believe it was a 4.5 out of 10. It was in development for about a year and it came out like, you know how it came out, right? I don't have to like
Yeah,
give
well,
my
it came out to
opinion.
horrendous reviews,
It
which
was
is
terrible.
yeah. And if you think about it, just think about that, right? Most games, like say even an Assassin's Creed game, takes about 2 to 3 years, and Assassin's Creed games aren't exactly brilliant. Well, some of them are, some of them aren't, and like it does take a lot of time for a good video game to be made. But you got to feel for the studios here, because with the development, especially of movie license games, I guarantee, someone from like a Walking Dead executive or a publisher, say like, who was it that published Survival Instinct? Activision,
Uh,
right? Was it Activision?
yeah, they published it and
Yeah.
then Terminal Reality developed
Yeah,
it.
so you can imagine Terminal Reality are kind of like, in their offices, and someone from Activision comes in and says, we need a Walking Dead first-person shooter made by so-and-so time, because we need it to coincide with the series finale or the series, one of the episodes in the series. So they are given this time stamp, and they just have to make the best of what they can in that time. So what it's just it's a slimy way of making business. It's just because of the timing and the popularity, they can make money off these names when the games are trash and a waste of money. It's bad for the development studios. Did you ever hear of that? I think it was the company who made the Thor video game and a couple other games. They were forced to make those games from the publishers, and
Yeah.
because of that, their development studio got shut down because of the poor sales.
Like I'm gonna jump back to Walking Dead Survival Instinct and 007 Legends because I believe they had the same mistakes. Like I mean, they had like all their mistakes are pretty common, like glitches and the stories were quite terrible, and 007 Legends was just butchered by everybody. And then thing is that Activision gave them that set time, right?
Because of Skyfall, wasn't it?
Yeah, because of Skyfall, and the Skyfall part of the game wasn't even in it until like a week
I
after,
know.
which doesn't make sense. And you have to pay extra for it, right?
DLC, yeah,
Yeah,
typical.
they had similar problems, and guess what? They were both published by Activision.
I think, but that's the problem though, is because Activision have actually made good licensed video games before. Like The Amazing Spider-Man was
Yeah,
good. Like it wasn't great, but it was still a good game. Like it wasn't broken or anything like Walking Dead was or 007 Legends in some areas. You know, it was alright. So I don't know. It really depends on the amount of time they give the studio and the size of the name. Because when you think about it, Walking Dead, even though it's a big TV show, isn't nearly as big as Spider-Man. And the same goes for 007. Even though 007 is as big as Spider-Man, I would say, like nearly or even bigger than Spider-Man.
in the UK it's probably
Yeah,
bigger.
but like you can see why certain games would get more time than others, but it also obviously depends on the studio. And I don't think Terminal Reality, the guys who made Walking Dead, Survival Instinct, I don't think they actually had any experience in creating an FPS before. Like they made that excellent little Ghostbusters game that
What
came
about
out.
Eurocom? Did they have any experience?
That's the
'Cause I-
thing. Your Eurocom, right? Eurocom
Yeah,
made 007 Legends. They were also
yeah,
the ones who did GoldenEye Reloaded. So you can
yeah, they
tell
did.
the difference between the two games because of the development time. The-
And GoldenEye Reloaded was pretty good.
yeah, GoldenEye Reloaded was a good game, but that was like I said because they were probably given a bigger
Yeah,
space of time to create it because there wasn't a movie coming out with it,
yeah.
which can clearly show the difference between development times and how long it takes to make a good game. We're going to cover our worst and worst and favorite licensed video games, TV and movies. So I'm going to start with my worst, and then we'll have Aaron's worst, and so forth with the best. So my worst movie licensed video game is one that I reviewed this year, and that is Aliens: Colonial Marines. Now, if you saw my review, you can pretty much tell that I hated it, and I thought that it was actually kind of an insult to Aliens fans and the whole franchise, in general, because the game clearly doesn't care about the stories of the original movies and the amount of like crap that went along with bringing that game out, like the lies and the press and all that stuff and the embargo dates and all that crap. And Aaron, did you play Aliens ever or?
I played Alien vs Predator, and I remember the multiplayer on that was
Oh yeah, that was the
yeah,
2010 one, right?
yeah 2010.
Yeah. What did you think of that? Was that good?
The multiplayer experience that I have actually played was pretty fun. I played it online, and there was that mode that was like where you're a predator or something. I forgot because I played it so long ago. What was it, Che? It was like
Well, isn't it like Last Man Standing or something? Like, I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah, that was
survival,
so
where
fun.
one plays as a predator and the rest are Marines. Is
Like
that
I
right?
had so much fun. Yeah, I had so much freaking fun playing that because it was just literally just like blowing everyone up.
Going back to Colonial Marines, I played and I beat AVP 2010, but I never actually played the multiplayer that much. I think I farmed some achievements, but didn't actually get into it that much. But what I can say is what the difference between those two games are, and why Aliens vs Predator is better than Colonial Marines. Bear in mind, it's not a great game; it's just an average one. It's mainly because even though like some of the stuff can be better, it at least shows respect and homage to the original movies of both the franchises. In Aliens Colonial Marines, it's like a tour through the franchise of Aliens as a whole, but none of it is worth being there because the plot and the script writing itself is just completely it's completely crapping all over the lore of Aliens. And that's why I hated it, because I love Aliens so much, and the game just seems to,
Yeah,
want to shit all over it, which is why it's the worst video game or licensed video game experience I've had, even though it's literally so recent. But even out of, like, not just this gen, all the gens I've played, this is the worst movie licensed video game and licensed video game for me. So, I know you mentioned yours earlier, but you may as well say it again. So what's your worst licensed video game experience?
My worst licensed video game experience was actually 007 Legends, and I reviewed that for the site a quite a long time ago. I believe it was like 4 months ago or something like that. And the release date for 007 Legends was in, well, for us here in the UK, it was like in October 2012. And then it was like it was December for Wii U, and I've seen most of the movies. I've seen.
I know, and you was actually kind of looking forward to playing it, wasn't you?
I was looking so for. I
You
was
was
like,
eager to reviewing that.
yeah. And then Che, when you spoke to me about it before I actually got the game, you said that it looked like pretty mediocre. That's what you said to me, and then I played it, and it was worse than that. Like I thought to myself, how the hell could this game go so wrong and down in the dumps?
Do you
Like,
know what
was
as well?
it?
It's the main problem in the game, I suppose. I don't know about if you think this, but the main problem I could see from trailers and reviews and stuff is that it's more like a. It's not like a James Bond experience. It's more like a James Bond montage, right?
Yeah, and they butchered all the original stories, which doesn't make like any sense. Like I'm a diehard James Bond fan, or at least I consider myself to be one. And I played this, and I've played GoldenEye Reloaded. I've played some of it, and the graphics are the same. But you know, Eurocom, they actually thought right on this one occasion. They actually made that like that one little thing that can like sort of saves this from being extremely bad. Like you can play with your friends and it'll be a good time, like GoldenEye. Thing is that the game itself, they like I don't get it. I don't know why they did this.
That I'd say that's what I think is probably the main problem, is because indecision. So like when Activision were like, we need a James Bond game for Skyfall, we can't do a Skyfall video game because there simply isn't enough action scenes in it to make a shooter, because you know that's what Activision does. So they were like, you know what we could do is have all the best moments from Bond movies and put it into one video game. But the problem is with that is that because of the montage of sequences from old Bond movies, some of them being good Bond movies, some of them being quite crap, the problem is there's no cohesive experience. That's why GoldenEye Reloaded, because it's a focused narrative and it knows what it wants to do, and you know it takes you through stages of a story.
Yeah.
Then it seems more cohesive and a bit more of a better experience. Because when you think about it, technically, down on a gameplay level, GoldenEye Reloaded is the same as 007 Legends. Like the shooting and everything like that, it feels the same and it is the same, right? And they have the smartphone.
Yeah.
So the difference between the two is that one's a montage and one's an actual story, and also obviously in the 007 Legends, they even added sequences that weren't from the movies, which is completely baffling.
And the controls for that game were so bad. Like I've never seen controls be bad like at all. I think they were like okay for everything, just like in games in general. Controls don't really matter to me, but in this game I played it on PC. Controls were so jacked up for this. It's like you had to press TG and UH to punch someone.
GoldenEye, 007 Legends and GoldenEye Reloaded are totally different, but kind of the same. Like I don't know what it is with Eurocom really, but I guarantee because of the difference in development time is why one's worse than the other, and why one's more disappointing. Yeah, so that's enough talking about the worst. Let's just crack on with the best. So my favorite, which is one that has been my favorite since it came out. I played quite a lot of games, and sure, Captain America: Super Soldier was a good game. Amazing Spider-Man was a good game. And you know, so on. But my favorite, without a doubt, is X-Men Origins Wolverine, the movie game. And yeah, I know what you're saying. You know what you're thinking right now. It's a movie game. How in the hell can it be your favorite? And especially on that movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was a pile of crap. The game. This is one of the rare things that happens in media where the game is actually better than the movie. And the reason for this is, as you'll notice from the box art on the game and you know the rating for the movie is rated like, I don't know, 12A, something like that, you know, for young teenagers, and kids can even go. But the game is 18 rated and is rated mature in America. So in the game, when you play as Wolverine, you get to do what you could never do in the movie, what they could never do in the movies, and what you could never do in a game before with Wolverine in it, and that's tear people to shreds and watch blood pour out. It's like God of War mixed with Wolverine. It's crazy, and tearing people to shreds is so much fun. And and that's the reason why it's so good. And it also obviously, if you went to see like I did, if you went to see the movie and got really disappointed, and then played the game, then it's just so surprising and it's so refreshing, because like I said, most movie license games get it wrong and are crap. But it seems like the developers of X-Men Origins Wolverine, I don't remember who it was, but it seems like they had a better grip on the character than the movie guys did, like the director and the script writers. So that's the main reason why I liked it, and it was just a badass little game. Did you ever play it, Aaron? Did you ever play Origins Wolverine?
No, I haven't played it.
Did you see the movie? What did you think?
I didn't see the movie. I haven't
didn't see the movie. Yeah, okay. Well, the movie, don't even bother. It's
I heard so many bad things about it.
It's terribly crap. At one point in the movie, he has bone claws. It's like, what? But yeah. So, Aaron, your favorite licensed game is a very recent one. Am I right?
Yes, it's very, very recent. It's actually Defiance.
Defiance. So that's the new sci-fi show, right?
It's not really based on the show. It has characters from the show in it, but it's not really based on the show. It's more like what is it? A prequel?
Yeah. Well, kind of. It's a prequel slash. I guess the whole deal with that is that it works with the show, so it's more like it's built alongside the show.
Yeah. Why I like this game so much is that it's the first well-made third-person shooter MMO to come out on consoles.
It's probably the best MMO on consoles, to be honest.
Yeah, at the moment, definitely. There's been some in the past, I believe.
Phantasy Star Online and DC Universe Online.
Yes, those two. But the thing is that I went into this game thinking it was going to be so bad, because of all the server issues and things like that, and too many people on it. But it was actually really good. It was well paced. I played it a lot with Che, actually.
Yeah, we've played quite a bit of that.
We played a lot of it, and it was so
the gameplay of us playing is probably on now. So
yeah,
that's us.
And they in the game, if you played Rift, you'll know that there's these little areas where you can go fight together as a team, fight against aliens and things like that. They have those, but they're called arcfalls in this game. And what an arcfall is basically it comes down to the ground. I'm not going to go into that much detail, but you go and you fight together, and there's 100 people there.
Yeah, it's like a big, it's like random boss fights.
It's so fun though.
I know, and obviously, and do you know what? I'm going to say this. My experience playing arcfalls with you, it's actually, I don't know what it's like on PC, but on consoles, because of the lack of power in the console, it's actually quite hilarious, because as soon as you hit an arcfall, you go near one, and there's 100 people playing at once, the frame rate dips so much. But it's not it's not like any other game with frame rate issues where it's annoying. It's actually kind of, I want to say charming, because it's just something that you never see. You never see 100 people fighting in the same area, you know? It's just, it's crazy, especially on consoles, man. That is a feat to behold.
The reason why it's my favorite is because it's so much fun. I've never had this much fun on a console with other people ever. I'm actually going to say that. But the thing is that it does have some bad qualities.
It's definitely what they call a flawed gem. It's not it. I heard one of the greatest phrases I've heard about this game is I love playing it and it's so addictive, but I have no idea why. Because the game technically, it's one of them games that if you summed it all up, it would be like a mediocre game. But if you just take into account the shooting and the amount of fun you can have with friends, it's a game that's a must buy. It's just really random.
I know, but that's what people are going for these days. And thing is about Defiance is that I saw the television series. I saw the first episode for 20 minutes. Couldn't be bothered to watch anymore. I will watch more. I just couldn't be bothered because it was so boring.
Do you know why? Because I guess since the video game is a prequel and the story isn't that great, that's one of the downfalls of the game. Then I suppose you're just not interested in the show that much because when you're watching the show you can't shoot the crap out of mutants.
Also, there's those loads of bugs in the game which sort of got on my nerves. Did you experience any bugs?
Oh my god, yes. How could you not? It's an MMO. Last time I played it was the second week it was out on consoles, and that was just before the massive patch
got
came
it
along.
Literally the day after release date. It was so bad.
Yeah, but it's still got a lot of glitches, but that's to be expected with any MMO.
With an MMO, yeah.
But Tryon are a very trustworthy company, and they've been sending emails out saying, reassuring people that they're going to fix it.
Yeah, definitely. They were probably the best company ever. Like,
Well, they're the nicest anyway.
they're the nicest, definitely. And like, you know, with what's going on with War Z and you know, like how people can't play because that is so bad and things like that.
Yeah, and the developers just don't care.
And like they did send like those emails, but they didn't really like reassure me of anything. As like definitely not as much as the Defiance emails did.
Yeah, and
But
they even said thank you for buying the game, and they gave
yeah,
people like a little in-game item, I think, didn't they? Or
and you
something
get
like
the
that.
title of Daredevil and like
Yeah,
yeah,
just because
XP
you bought
boost
it,
and,
like it's a little reward for buying the game and staying with it.
yeah, I know.
But yeah, it's a great game, and I think it's a lot of fun. Obviously, it's not what you'd call statistically an amazing game, but for what it's trying to do and what it is, it's pretty good. So I think we've talked enough about new licensed and licensed games in general.
Yeah.
So that's about it from us. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let us know what your worst and favorite licensed video games are, especially why you like them. Put that in the comments. Also, last week I posted a review of the most recent licensed video game, that being Star Trek the video game. So please check that out if you can, and I'll speak to you guys later.
Yeah, see you later, guys.